Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Masterpiece Lounge. I am your hostess, certified life coach, author, and speaker, and I'm excited to be back with another segment, guys. So, as you join me today, be sure to say hello in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. As always, I absolutely love being able to share with you, and today is no different. And so, like all of our topics here in the Masterpiece Lounge, this one is a really good one. All right. So, if it's your first time, welcome. This is our corner of the internet where we have incredible and insightful conversations to help push and propel our personal and professional lives forward. So, let's jump right into it. Again, say hello in the chat. All right. So, today, as you've already seen in the title, we're going to be talking about difficult conversations. And these are difficult conversations, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, but mostly personal. But I'm sure you can definitely take some nuggets and apply it in the professional space as well. And I thought this was a really important topic because a lot of times when we have to have difficult conversations, it's very uncomfortable. So I just want to share some tips with you to help make it less uncomfortable as possible. I know that having difficult conversations can be challenging, but they are very important and essential for resolving any conflict that's taking place, also expressing any concerns that you haven't been sharing, and definitely providing some understanding on why you feel the way that you do and how the other party feels as well, right? So let's jump into some of the steps that are going to help you. So the first thing I want you to do is to make sure you prepare for a difficult conversation. I want you to reflect on the issue at hand, right? So I want you to understand your thoughts and your feelings. What are the main points that you need to talk about? We want to make sure we're not all over the place. And so, what do you want to talk about? So, prepare yourself for this conversation. What are the objectives that you want to set for this conversation, right? So, what do you want to achieve from the conversation? That's something you need to know up front. Is it to resolve a conflict that you all have? Is it for clarity because there's been a misunderstanding? Or do you simply want to express your feelings? And so you want to make sure you're going into this understanding exactly what it is that you want out of it. I do want you to consider the other person's perspective. You may not even want to do that, right? But it's important in having a conversation. It's two ways, right? It's two-sided. So you want to make sure that you consider the other party's perspective. Try to understand their feelings and viewpoints, or you may not care. Again, let's be honest. But if possible, let's try to apply some empathy because that's going to help you approach this conversation, all right, and be more effective. Number two is to choose the right time and place. And so I always think it's great to have a difficult conversation in a private setting. So if it's you and another party at work, maybe in the office, maybe over coffee, something, right? But you just want to make sure it's the right setting and that it's private, that it's just involves the two people that is having the misunderstanding. Maybe a quiet location can be even more helpful, helps you focus. Also, both parties get to speak openly and without any interruption, so you won't be distracted. Sometimes you even have to put this on the schedule, right? You have to schedule these things sometimes. Why is this important? It's important because you want to choose a time where both of you are calm, you're not preoccupied with other things going on, and you want to also avoid moments of very high stress or emotional exhaustion. So, for instance, let's say this is in your personal life, you're having this difficult conversation. Maybe the moment someone walks through the door from work isn't the right time, right? You want to give that person time to relax, have dinner, unwind a bit, and then you can have a very deep conversation, for instance. Number three is initiate the conversation, right? So you can use I statements, for instance, along the lines of I feel, I've noticed, I'm concerned, right? Why is this important? Because it helps to express your perspective without sounding like you're accusing the other person. Be direct. We want to make sure you're not beating around the bush, but try to also be kind. And yes, it is possible to do both of those things at the same time. So address the issue clearly and direct while maintaining a tone that is respectful. We want this conversation to be effective, right? And so make sure that your tone is respectful. But don't beat around the bush. Be very clear and direct about what it is that you want to talk about. Number four is to communicate effectively. Now, what are some ways we can do this? It's going to take you to activate your active listening skills. Okay, so give the other person a chance to speak. um, do your best. Some of us are really good at interrupting, but this is when you do not interrupt the conversation. Well, it's never a good time to interrupt, but especially during a difficult conversation. Show that you're paying attention. Nod, right? If you're understanding, right? You want to nod. Give some type of verbal acknowledgement. And if possible, really try to give some eye contact, right? So that the other party knows that you are paying attention to their side of things as well. Do your best to stay calm and composed. Depending on what the topic is, this might not be as easy as we may want it to be, but definitely try to stay calm and composed. It's important that we are in control of our emotions, right? So if you feel like you're getting upset and it's really difficult, I want you to take some deep breaths and even suggest you taking a short break, right? Listen, I need a minute. I'm going to step away and I'll be back. Clarity and confirm understanding, right? So I want you to paraphrase what the other person has shared and said to you, just to ensure that you understand the points correctly. I want to make sure that there's no more miscommunication between the two of you. Number five is to find common ground, right? So what is their perspective? And I want you to make sure that you acknowledge it. So validate their feelings and viewpoints, even if you don't agree, right? So I understand what you're saying is. I understand that you feel, right? You don't have to agree with it, but you're validating that you've heard their feelings, okay? And it is their feelings, right? In their point of view. And so then you can identify shared goals. What are some shared goals during this conversation? So focus on mutual interests, mutual goals that both of you want to achieve. For instance, we both want to make sure that we can communicate effectively. We both want to make sure that we do what's best for the children. We both want to make sure that we are contributing, right, to the growth of our team. And this is important because it serves as a basis for finding a solution, right? And so we're spending a little bit of time on the common ground of the shared goals, and we're putting our focus there. Number six is to problem solve together. Problem solve together. This looks like brainstorming solutions, right? And so that could be collaborating to come up with some possible solutions or even some compromises, right? There may be some compromises that have to be made. And I want you to be open to suggestions, and I want you to be flexible in your approach. It's not your way or the highway, because now that is now an ultimatum, right? And so we want to make sure that we're open and flexible to the approach to come to the solution. And I want you guys to agree on actions. So decide on a specific action that both of you will take so that we can address the issue, because we're attacking the issue, okay? And then ensure that the responsibilities are clear and that you both agree. So that needs to be very clear. Now, I also want to suggest that you follow up. And you can do this by checking in, right? So follow up after some time to see how the agreed upon actions are working. Are they working? Do they need to be adjusted? What's going on, right? And so follow up and keep the communication line open. So I definitely encourage having ongoing communication to address any issues or even to provide support, because there are some difficult situations that require more than one conversation. You have to kind of follow up with another talk, right? But you'll be in a better headspace to do so. Also, number eight, reflect on the conversation. So I want to evaluate the outcome. What took place during this difficult conversation? What did we walk away with, right? What went well? What could have been improved? So that when we have conversations again, we know what to do and what not to do. Also want you to learn and adapt. So use some insight that you gained to improve your communication skills, right? Because nobody knows it all. So we all have room to grow, and approach it in future difficult conversations. And so, again, encouraging you to be very open to learning, right? The way that you communicate with others and the way that you process information. And just there's areas of opportunity for all of us. And so difficult conversations can be intense, but they don't have to be something that you avoid. It is absolutely necessary in terms of making sure that we address any misunderstandings in our professional life as well as our personal life. Okay, we want to make sure that we are having the conversations. So I hope that there was some nuggets shared today that you can really say, okay, I can implement this starting today. Now, if you are looking for some help in having these difficult conversations, as well as just needing some help in general with your goals, I want to invite you to be a client and a student in the Masterpiece Institute. And so I want to introduce you all to Coaching with Chrisnatha. What is Coaching with Chrisnatha? Well, it is where we get to the core with clarity, confidence, and courage. All right. So it is your time. So it is time we stop standing on the sidelines and we get in the game. So if you're ready to go higher in your life and your business, if you need clarity discovering your purpose, if you're ready to monetize your gifts, I am your girl. And so you are in the right place. And we have the link there on the screen. So I want you to go there and get all of the additional information that you would need. It's bit.ly/coach with Chrisnatha. All the details are there. And definitely reach out if you have any questions. And I look forward to hearing from you all. So, again, guys, do not delay when there are misunderstandings. It is time, and we now have the tools to have difficult conversations. All right. So, I hope that today's segment was extremely helpful to you. And again, let's connect on social. And if you have any questions, let me know. So, I'll be back, same time, same place, next week. And I'll see you all really soon. And until then, be well. Take care.